Ferguson, and I'm here to talk to you about animal testing. According to protest.org.uk, an Oxford graduate named Christina Cook, a PhD, has stated that countless medical advances have been made, and most of them have required some level of animal testing. This includes the discovery of penicillin, treatment for hemophilia, and childhood leukemia, and the development and trials of vaccines for meningitis in children. If we are able to continue our research with animals, we can help find cures for these illnesses. We believe that with animal testing, we can discover how the treatments will affect the human body. Also, with the testing of animals, it will reduce human suffering. On Sweet101.com, it has been stated that the treatment for cancer and HIV, antibiotics, insulin for diabetics, and vaccines have been developed, and without animal testing, the development will require extensive human testing. Even with animals, these tests are easy access to safer medications for pets also. These drugs and treatments help to improve health and improve other medications. On eHealth.com, an article said that these tests help find cures for what diseases may occur and see how certain drugs affect certain conditions such as pregnancy. Without these medications, where would we be in life? Most likely, more than half of us would have caused some type of disease that doesn't already have a cure. With the help of these tests, we are more than likely to find cures. These animals are very valuable. They help us figure out the cause and how to cure these diseases and future ones. The tests also help us to keep medications for future generations. With that being said, let us continue on with our research. Thank you.
1 minute to prepare.
Hi, I'm Sarah. You say that many of the animal tests that have been done have also helped with the animal testing, or for the animal medication, but isn't that the same as human testing for human medication?
It's like if you use animal testing, like you never know how a human may be very ill and seriously injured, but if you use animal testing, it's more valuable because whether you know it or not, at the end of the day, you still go home and eat animals. And like, humans are like that. You never know, like, if they have like a very serious disease, and you want them to find a cure for that, and you test on that same human. It's not right. But it's like you want to use the animal instead. But like animals have the same characteristics as humans.
The same characteristics, but only 2% of human illnesses are ever seen in animals. So why would you take the risk?
To find more cures and to find out what diseases may occur in the future.
Alright, but animal testing and human testing only agrees 5 to 25% of the time. Even so, medical testing isn't the only testing. There's also cosmetic testing, which doesn't even need to be tested sometimes. So why would they test on animals?
So they can see the effect of it.
Well, that's what they have beta testers for. They get some people that want to try out these cosmetics to test out these cosmetics, and if something goes wrong, then they report back to the person. By the way, time.
1 minute. Remember, you must take questions during the question time. No statements, it's questions. Time.
Hey, I'm Emily. Animal testing is cruel and should be illegal. I believe this because many animals are injured or killed for the sake of a new product. In fact, 17 to 22 million animals are used in testing per year. Plus, the animals cannot give informed consent and are brought against their will to be experimented on. Animal testing is also very expensive. In 2010, the NIH budgeted nearly $29 billion for testing and other similar research. Plus, animals must be fed, housed, cared for, and treated with drugs or other experimental substances. This cost could be greatly reduced if scientists used computer programs that tested the products in the same way an animal would likely react. Finally, the tests on animals are very unreliable. Why? Animals are in an unknown environment and are being poked and prodded with tubes and other needles. This leads to a major amount of stress and makes the data worthless. See, an animal reacts differently when they are under a lot of stress than an animal who is more relaxed. It's the same idea as someone being given a shot. If the person tenses up or gets really stressed out, then they might react differently to the shot than someone who is more relaxed. This means the data is worthless, and the doctors must try again later on a different animal. Think of your dog, a stray cat, the neighbor's parakeet, any animal you know. Imagine how you would feel if they were tested on and injured for life. What if they were even killed? Now imagine how you'd feel if they were tested on just so someone could wear a new eyeshadow on the red carpet. Animal testing is just not right. I will end with this quote. Ask the experimenters why they experiment on animals, and their answer is, because the animals are like us. Ask the experimenters why it is morally okay for them to test on animals, and their answer is because the animals are not like us. Charles R. Magel. Animal testing is a living...
1 minute. Time. Question number 1. You have 2 minutes.
Wouldn't you want our next generation to have a more healthier life?
Yes, but why don't they use human subjects?
Well, Animals die every day from the world eating them. So by us doing animal testing, it gives them a more worthy death.
Well, I mean, animals are eaten, but those are found out in the wild, and the animals that are used in testing are caught in captivity and are bred in captivity.
Did you know 7.6 million die from cancer each year?
Yes, I did.
What year was your source updated?
2010.
Don't you think your resources are a little out of date?
No, I don't, because the research is the same now than it is back then. Because, I mean, that was taken in December of 2010.
Can you prove that?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
1 minute. Pro speaker number 2.
Hi, I'm Asia. Animal testing aids researchers in finding drugs and treatments to improve health and medicine. Many medical treatments have been made possible by animal testing, including cancer and HIV drugs, insulin, antibiotics, vaccines, and many more. Animal testing helps to ensure the safety of drugs and many other substances humans use or are exposed to regularly. Drugs can carry significant dangers with their use, but animal testing allows researchers to initially gauge the safety of drugs prior to commencing trials on humans. This means that harm is reduced and human lives are saved each day from cancer. Thank you.
1 minute.
You mentioned a lot about drugs and medicine, but what about the large percent of cosmetic testing?
Pass.
Well, do you wear makeup yourself?
Can you say that again?
Do you wear makeup ever?
No.
Do you know anybody who does?
Yes.
Well, have you ever thought about how that makeup could have been tested on an animal inside of a lab?
Humans, if it wasn't for animals, we wouldn't have certain things like food, and animals are killed each day, so.
Well, what about the different structures that animal bodies have?
Can you say that again?
Animals have different body structures than humans. Primates are the only animals that have closely related structures. What about the rats that are tested on?
Rats have some of the same qualities we do, so by us testing them, it shows reactions on if we could die for something like antibiotics or something.
Well, if we're going to test for cancer and such, why do we have to use animals? Why couldn't we use people on death row?
Animals are the most closest things to humans that we have.
Well, humans are close to humans.
I mean, animals are the most things we have close to us.
But if the person was on death row and was going to die anyway, why couldn't we test on them?
Because animals die every day from us eating them.
Thank you.
1 minute. And time. 1. Computer 2.
Truthfully, animal testing is a horrific method of trying out products. Sure, animal testing has one good thing about it: humans won't be hurt or killed. But animal testing has many dangerous and terrifying things too. According to Huntington Life Sciences, human and animal testing agree only 5 to 25% of the time. Animals have a completely different body system from people, so the animals most likely react differently to the products tested upon them. In addition, experimentation on animals can be replaced by many other methods, such as synthetic skin. Picture the dog at your feet, the guinea pigs or mice you had as pets growing up, or the birds at the feeder in your yard. Now imagine 25 million of animals just like these living in small laboratory cages and being deliberately sickened over the course of weeks, months, or even years, and then killed by the Humane Society of the United States. And how do you think these animals feel when they are tested on? They are always in severe pain. The animals aren't even given an anesthetic before they are experimented on. In fact, many animals die before the tests begin because they try and escape. In the process, the animals can break their backs or necks. In conclusion, to me, animal testing is cruel and painful and needs to be replaced by other methods. Thank you.
1 minute. Time. You have 2 minutes.
Hello, my name is Juwan. And my question to you is, why do you feel that we shouldn't have animal testing?
Because animal testing kills tons and tons of animals each year, and they're nothing like humans, so they react differently to everything.
Okay. Do you know how many people die every day of cancer?
No.
Thank you. Do you think if we have animal testing, the number of illnesses will decrease?
Can you repeat the question?
Do you think if we have animal testing, then the number of illnesses would decrease?
Maybe, but because the animals are different, the cures are going to be different reactions with the people.
Okay. Do you think your sources are reliable?
Yes.
When was the last time it was updated?
2009.
They say most animals don't feel the pain, so why shouldn't we have animal testing?
Well, the animals aren't given any anesthetic because the scientists believe that the anesthetic messes with the experimentation. So the animals are always in pain.
Okay, thank you.
1 minute.
There's a radio station down the street. We just pick it up sometimes.
20 seconds. And time. Final arguments.
Hi, I'm Kenzie. Animal testing is one of the most discussed forms of animal cruelty. The two main types of testing that are done are cosmetic and drug and medicine. Many countries, including the UK, Belgium, and the Netherlands, have already banned cosmetic animal testing. Cosmetic testing is the most common form of animal testing, making up about 94% of the tests. There are also over 450 alternatives, including synthetic skin, and many of these alternatives are much less expensive. Many animals are tested on daily, and the products that are tested may never be released to the public at any point. Animals that do survive the test have to live in captivity for the rest of their lives. Have you ever been volunteered for something that you didn't want to do? The animals that are tested on do. They have no say whether or not they would like to be tested on. In result of all these factors, millions of animals die every day because of being tested on, when they don't want to be tested on at all. Many of the animals that are tested on don't have bodies that are closely related to humans. Primates are the only animal that have 99% of the shared genes. Mice, rats, and other rodents, rabbits, birds, and fish are most commonly used in labs, but also dogs, pigs, cats, sheep, and goats, and primates are found in laboratories in significant numbers in countries such as the USA and China. The best way to stop animal testing is simply to make it illegal.
1 minute. What my teammates and I have said before, we approve animal testing because it helps us figure out what diseases being cured and how it affects the world. Without it, how are we going to find cures? Many medical treatments have been possibly made by animal testing. The cures for cancer and HIV, antibiotics, insulin for diabetics, vaccines have been developed and have cured very many people. The result of the test has been great. The safety of humans have been reduced because without animals, what we have while you're trying to save them. So basically, wouldn't you want to test on animals too? We approve it also because you can find cures for new diseases and sicknesses that might end up becoming a seriously and deadly disease. Many diseases end up curing on itself. We may never know what the case might be unless we do these tests. The testing of animals have been very helpful to cancer patients. We have discovered that penicillin, hemophilia, childhood leukemia, and vaccines for meningitis in children all have many levels of animal testing. The tests help us figure out what medications are going to affect certain conditions, such as pregnancy, which means that whether you know it or not, the medicines is going to see if the child is going to be born with a birth defect.